So before I even display it outside here, once I display how much you've won, okay, I will have over here, I will have the total user amount entered stored in here. So I can even go ahead and display it also, to output string. All right, so down here, output string is going to have what the user has won. I'm going to go ahead and concatenate how much they've entered so far to that string before I display it down here. Before I display output string, so output string concatenated equals, okay. Concatenated equals is the same as saying output string is equal to whatever is stored in output string concatenated with. Okay, so now I want to concatenate a string to it. So after you've displayed this, I want to create a new line. After you've displayed how much they've won, I want to display a new line and tell them how much they've inserted so far. I'm going to say you have inserted I'm just going to say amount inserted so far. Amount inserted so far. Amount you've inserted so far. And because I have the amount inserted so far in a variable up here called total user amount entered, I'm going to go ahead and just use it and terminate it. So now after I display how much you've won, I'm going to go ahead and concatenate a new line and then display the string before I display it finally here. So let's see what happens. Compile this and then run it. Insert money, I'm going to insert 5. Now we'll format this string later on, but for now let me just go ahead and just do this. All right, so melons, bells, and oranges. Now you've won $0 because none of them match. Amount inserted so far is $5, right? We'll format this later on. Do you want to play again? Press Y for yes and any key for no. I'm going to say yes. Now it's still going to keep track of how much I've inserted so far. So I inserted 5 the first time. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to insert another 5, and this should say 10 next time it shows. So yes, I'm going to insert another 5 and hit OK. And then I'll look. I still didn't win anything. You have won $0. Amount you've inserted so far is $10. Okay, I'm going to say yes, and then insert another $5. So I'm expecting $15 inserted so far. Hit OK. I've inserted $15 so far, but I still haven't won anything. So just keeping track of how much I've inserted so far here. So that's good. Also, let's see what the program continues to say. If not, the program displays the total amount of money entered into the slot machine and the total amount won. Okay. Now we'll display that when the user says no. We'll display all the totals. But in the loop, I also want to display how much they have won so far. Okay, how much they have won so far. So if you have won $0, I'm going to create a variable over here. I'm going to call it total amount won so far. So it's also going to be a double. I'm going to call it total total amount won so far. Now this is a these are long variable names, but you can I like not long variable names sometimes. I like them. But if you want to declare it as something shorter, please feel free to do that. Okay, so total amount won so far is just going to keep track of how much the user has won so far. So initially it's going to be 0, just like the total user amount entered. So total amount won so far now is going to be equal to 0 initially, because when the program starts, when you go to casino initially, you haven't won anything. So anytime you win something, okay, I'm going to add what you've won to the total amount won so far. So if you have won 0, then total amount won so far. Now I'm going to add to it. Okay, so added equals. Okay, added plus. So total amount won so far. Okay, so let me just type in the whole thing. Total amount won so far is going to be equal to what's already stored in total amount won so far, okay, plus 0, in this case 0. So if you win 0, then nothing gets added to total amount won so far. If you've won twice the amount you entered, right, then total amount won so far now is going to be equal to what's already stored in total amount 1 so far, okay, plus twice the amount entered. So plus twice your amount entered. So I'm going to paste this here like that. Now if all three of the words match and you win 3 times your amount entered, then total amount won so far. I'm going to copy this string. This whole statement. Paste it down here. Total amount won so far. It's not going to be twice the amount, but it's going to be 3 times the amount you entered added to what's already stored in total amount won so far. And over here, once I concatenate amounts you've inserted so far, I also want to go ahead and concatenate another string. Before I add the string, I create a new line, and I'm going to concatenate it with another new line. I'm going to say amount won so far. Now this string is getting long. I want to break it to the next line, so I'm going to create a plus sign, concatenate it with another string. But before I concatenate it with another string, I create the plus sign and hit an enter to break it to the next line. To break it to the next line. And to amount won so far, create another string and continue the string. Amount won so far. Okay, now it's going to be equal to, since I have the variable total amount won so far, I can go ahead and display it. I'll use it. Total amount won so far. Alright, so let's see how it looks so far. So I'm concatenating to output string before I go ahead and display it. So compile and run. So insert money, I'm going to insert $4 and hit OK. Alright, so you have $0, and let me separate this. You have one, and then from these two statements, and then I'll go ahead and then continue. So you have $0. I want to, before I display the amount you've won so far, I want to create a couple of line breaks here. So let's say 3, like this, or maybe even 2. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, now let me just close this, because this is too much, I think, over here. Before I display the question, I'm using 3 line breaks, and I want 2. Okay, so now, yeah, this looks good. All right, so I won $0 because none of these match. So amount you've inserted so far is $4. You've won $0 because I didn't win anything. Do you want to play again? I hit yes, hit OK. Hit OK, and I put in $7. Now amount you've inserted so far is, it's this. 7 plus 4 is 11, so that's 11. Because I won $0, amount won so far is 0. Hit play again, yes. Insert another $6. Amount inserted so far is 17. Now because I had 2 of them matching, my $6 has multiplied to 2. Multiplied by 2, so 6 is, so now I have $12, and my amount won so far is $12. But I've inserted $17 so far. I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to go strong and go $1,000 and hit OK. And guess what? Because I had 2 of them matching, my $1,000 has been multiplied to $2,000. I've inserted $1,017, and I've won $2,012. Now we'll format these. So, but for now, let's just keep them this way. I'll format it when we're done. And so it's working. So now we can see the amount we've inserted so far, and we have the amount won so far. So even when the user hits no, we have the values stored in variables already, so we can just go ahead and display them. So I'm going to hit no and hit OK, so we can go back to the program. All right. So let's see. Now we are here. If not, the program displays the total amount of money entered into the slot machine and the total amount won. All right. So now, assuming the user hits no, now we can come here down here, and then, because if the user hits no, it's going to exit out of the loop and continue what the statements down here. The statements down here, what we want to do is create another message dialog, because now we're done displaying the words and how much they won. And the words and whether they want to play again. We're done with that because the user said no. All we have to do is just display them, give them some kind of a report, and say, hey, this is how much you've won. This is how much you've inserted so far. I'm even going to go a step further and say, hey, you lost this, or you won this. You lost this amount of money, or you had a loss of this, or you had a profit of this. So we'll go ahead and do that. The program didn't say that, but the program only said that we should just display the total amount of money entered into the slot machine, and then the total amount of money won. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and even add whether you lost, or you won with profit. All right, so I'm going to create another G option pane. Sorry, G option pane is a show message dialog. So G option pane dot show message dialog. And first is going to be a null, because null is going to center the window. And what I want to display is a report, some kind of report, and say, all right, so before that, okay, I want to go ahead and calculate the whether in a profit or something. So before this, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I'm going to create an if statement and do something here. I'm going to say this, because once they say no, I will have how much they've inserted so far and how much they've won so far. All right, so I can compare. I can really compare to see if they lost or they won. So I can create an if statement here and say this. I can create an if statement and say this, and say if, okay, if the amount, the total amount, where is it? If the total user amount entered, okay, so if the total user amount entered is greater than, okay, the total amount won so far, okay. So if the user put in so much money than what they lost, then than what they won, then that means they lost, right? So I'm going to create a variable over here. I'm going to call it difference. I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to call it difference. The difference is just going to store. It's going to store. 1 second. I'm going to create a variable called difference. It's going to be a double. I'm going to call it difference. Difference is going to be a dollar amount. Difference is going to store basically their loss or their profit. Okay, I can create a variable and say profit or loss, but I'm just going to say difference. Okay, but difference is going to store how much they lost or won. So I'm going to say this: if the total amount entered, right, is let's see. I don't even need that difference variable. I don't need a difference variable. I don't need it. I can just do the calculation in the print statement. So this is what I mean. So we all know that if the total the amount, if the user put in so much money and then the amount they put in is way more than what they won, then that means they lost, right? So we can display to the user and say this. We can display it to the user and say G option pane dot show message dialog. So first is going to be null, and what we want to display is this. So we're giving them some kind of report. Say you inserted, and we have the amounts they inserted so far here, in total user amount entered, or you inserted total amount user entered, right? You set the total user amount entered, right? And then we can add a string and say and one, and one. We have the amounts they won also stored in new total amount won so far. So in one, total amount won so far. And I can go ahead concatenating it with a string. I'll break it to the next line and say, and just move this over here. So you've won, and one total amount won so far. I'm going to say making. So over here, if the total amount entered is greater than the total amount won so far, then it made a loss, right? So making a loss of. Now to calculate the loss, okay, it's going to be equal to calculate the loss is going to be the amount they won, okay, minus the total amount entered. That's the loss they have. So it's going to be in parentheses the amount they won, total amount won, okay, minus the amounts they entered. So if they put in, so if they won only $5 and then they put in $10, then they made a loss of $5. Or if they put in, let's say $11, and they won only $2, right? Then they made a loss of $9, right? So we are taking let's see, hold on a second. No. We just want to know the difference. So if we want to know the difference, so we just subtract actually the amounts they entered, okay, minus how much it's the other way around. I'm sorry. This is going to give us a negative number. I want to use a positive number. That's why I'm sticking with this. And I didn't do the calculation right. So the amounts they entered minus amounts they won. Amount 1. Look, I didn't create this variable and I'm typing it. Minus the total amount won so far. So if they entered, they inserted, let's say, $11, and they won $2, and you subtract 2 from the 11, then they made a loss of $9, right? Okay, so making a loss. The only difference is this loss. The loss here. We're just going to tell them. Now, else if the other way around. This is the other way around. Else if the total amount won so far is greater than the total user amount entered. Okay, then we know that they made a profit because they won more than they inserted. So if they won more than they inserted, I have I'm going to copy the string. Now this has to be terminated here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the string here. And then just paste it and then change the values and say you inserted this total amount entered and won this total amount won so far, making a profit. So total amount entered minus, so because this is bigger than the total amount entered, we can end up getting a negative number. If they use only $5 and they made $1,000, now 5 minus 1,000 is going to give us a negative number. So now if they made a profit, then if the amount won so far is greater than the amount inserted, we want to go ahead and subtract the amounts they entered from the amounts they won, and that's going to give us how much profits they have left. So we're going to subtract the amounts they entered, which is total user amount entered, minus the amounts they won, and that's going to give them their profits. Now this is when one is bigger. This is when they made a profit or loss. Now if they didn't make a profit or loss, then for example, if total user amounts entered is not greater than total amount won so far, and total amount won so far is not greater than total user amount entered, then that means that it's equal. Then that means that they broke even, right? It's equal. That means that the user amount entered is equal to the amount won. So I'm just going to create an else because that's the only thing that's going to be left. If this is not true and this is not true, if they didn't make a profit or loss, then they broke even. So that's going to be the else condition. Or you can go ahead and explicitly state that if total user amount won so far is double equals to the total user amount entered, okay? If this is double equal to the total amount entered, is the same thing. Just using an else because if they didn't make a profit or loss, then they'll break even, and that's why I'm using else. So else, then let's display another message and tell them you inserted this amount and won this amount, and won this amount, right? And we're going to say this: you didn't make any profit or loss. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of this because I don't need it. Yeah, you make any profit or loss. And then let's just add a simple or nice thanks for playing at the end. I'll just type it. So over here to the same thing, thanks for playing. Okay, so now let's just compile and see what we have so far. I have an error. I need to close this parentheses. I opened the parentheses here. I needed to close it. Did I do the same thing here? Yeah, I need to delete this. It's oops. I need to close this. That's a calculation, and I'm concatenating with a string. Concatenating with another string over here. I don't need this parentheses. Okay, I'm going to compile it, and then we're fine. So I'm going to run it and see what we have so far. So insert money. I'm going to enter 3. I've inserted $3 so far. I'm going to play again. Yes. I've inserted $7 so far. 2 of them matched because I put in $4. I won $8, and $8 has been added to amount 1 so far. Now, if I hit no, I hit OK. Now it says you inserted $7 and won $8, making a profit of $1. Thanks for playing. So it's working. Let's try one more time. So I'm going to enter 1,000 and see what happens. Okay, I won 0. I inserted $1,000, right? And I'm going to play again and type in 2,000 now. Hit OK. Okay, so because 2 of them matched, my 2,000 doubled to 4,000. My 4,000 got added to amount 1 so far. I've inserted $3,000 so far. So that means I made a profit of 1,000, so I can run away, right? So I'm going to hit an N and hit OK. And it says you inserted 3,000 and won 4,000, making a profit of 1,000. Thanks for playing. So it's working. So I'm going to hit OK. So now a couple of things. Let's go ahead and format the numbers. Okay, let's go ahead and format the numbers. So some of the numbers we have here, let's see. Since we've already created the strings, it's going to be a bit messy if we're trying to add the string.format method and stuff like that. So I'll find a nice way to do it, to format it before even displaying it, right? Okay, so let's see. We have ultimately we have, let's say, we have total amount 1 so far here. We are calculating it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see. You know what? That's what we're going to end up doing. We're going to go ahead and just add the methods in the strings together. All right. So total amount 1 so far. This is where it's calculated. I'll put string over here. So I'm going to format this by using string.format. Although I could have just done it. Now you can do this. I could have just called one string.format method and then just formatted everything. But I don't want to mess it up because I don't want to confuse anyone. So what I'll do is I'll just do it separately. Okay. Although I could have done it once. So bear with me. If you are doing it, you can just go ahead. You know what? I'll just do it. I'll just do it because it's going to help people learn also. And I just don't want to confuse anyone. That's why. But I'll just do it just so we learn it the right way. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to concatenate this with, so I want to format the total amount entered here and then the total amount 1 so far here. That's going to be our first output string. Actually, we will have this too. We have lots of them here. So I should have just done it initially. All right, we'll still do it. We'll still do it. All right, so over here, the first time it says you've won. This is just going to be a string, so this is just going to display something. We have output string here. So when it's displaying, this is just going to display. Over here, you have one. This has to be formatted. So I'm going to go ahead and call the string.format method here. So string.format. Because we're using a G-option pane, that's why we're doing this. So string.format. Right, so this is going to be the argument. I'm going to delete this concatenation sign. So you have 1, and I'm going to create, because it's going to be a a float. I'm going to call it percentage F. I want it, so percentage F now is going to represent this argument after the comma, this argument here. Okay, it's going to replace this placeholder percentage F. Now F, because I want it formatted as a float, because it's a float, it's going to be a float, so I wanted it, I'm saying I'm formatting a float now. Percentage F is just like a placeholder. In between that, I'm going to type in the precision, so I'm going to type in 0.2. 0.2 means I want this float formatted to 2 decimal places. I want a $sign in front of it here, right? And in between that, I'm going to also specify in between the percentage and then the precision. Okay, so in between the percentage and the precision, before the precision, I'm going to type in a comma. So it's going to go ahead and put commas where necessary. It's going to put a comma. For example, if you have $1 million, it's going to say 1,000,000,000. So I'm going to put a comma here where necessary. So a comma here, and it's going to put commas in the value where necessary. I'm putting the comma before the precision and then before the type. Okay, and I'm putting a $sign in front of it. And then whatever value is going to evaluate from this value is going to replace this whole placeholder, and it's going to format the way I wanted it here. So now this is going to work. Let's do the same thing for the rest. So I'm just going to concatenate now. I can even go ahead and copy it and then replace the rest. So copy this. I'm concatenating. You have 1, so I have this here. Just go ahead and concatenate it. Paste this. Now string.format, format, you have 1 percentage 2. Now this is when the amount is multiplied by 3. So the same thing here. All right. So now just to test it, let's just compile this and then test it to see how if it works. So insert money. I'm just going to type in 4, and you have $1. $0. Okay, so that's working, but let's test the other one to see if I win twice or something. Okay, so it's working. Okay, so this is working. Now this is what we formatted so far. So this is working. So you've won $8. It's putting a $sign in front of it. It's formatted into 2 decimal places, so 0.00. It's, if it was, let's say 8,000, would have seen a comma, so it would have put a comma where necessary. So you put a comma before the precision, all in between. Okay, all in between the percentage and then the F. Okay, but the comma before the precision, which is 0.2 to 2 decimal places. If it was 0.3, then it will be 3 decimal places. So now it's 0.2, so that means 2 decimal places. So this and this are working. I'm just going to say 0.0 over here, because there's no value. We actually we can actually go ahead and use, because initially output string is 0. Sorry, initially the total, where is it? We can go ahead and say user amount entered times 0, and it gives you 0, and then formats that. But we can also go ahead and type it this way. Okay, all right, and this works because this will be displayed every time. So if the user has nothing matching, this will be displayed every time. So and this looks formatted, so there's nothing going to change about this. So that's good. So now we've done this, we've formatted that. I'm just going to copy this and then repeat it for the rest. Let me see. So over here, we need a couple of things formatted too. We need all this formatted. So let me just format it, and the things that are repetitive, I'll just copy and paste. So just bear with me here. Let me just break this on a new line so we see what we have so far. I know this is confusing. We should have done it initially, but I didn't want to. There was still so much stuff going on. I didn't want to add the conversion to it. Now we're done with most of the program, so all we're doing is just converting the values. So string.format, amount you've entered so far. We need that. So amount entered so far now is going to be, okay, so these are the arguments, total amount entered, and if you understand this already, then you're good. But all we are doing is we are formatting it. The first example was a good way to explain it like this. So the arguments, after the comma, the arguments is going to replace whatever placeholder or whatever format specify we specify. It's going to be respectively. So you'll see an example here. So amount you've inserted so far now is going to be equal to a colon, and then percentage F. Now we'll get to that later. And then we wanted a new line, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of this. I didn't need this here even. So we wanted a new line, then now you just bear with me here, okay? All right, so amount you've inserted so far is going to be equal to percentage F. New line amount 1 so far is going to be equal to another percentage F, and the arguments are going to be total amount entered and total amount 1 so far. Yeah, so we want this formatted to point as a float. So it's going to be, so total amount entered is going to replace this percentage F. Total amount 1 so far is going to replace this percentage F. So the arguments are going to replace what format specifier we specify respectively. So this first, okay. And then this amount is going to replace the next format specifier. But we have to specify how we want them specified. We want to specify how we want them formatted. So the first one we wanted, again, it's a float, so we want it formatted as a float. To 2 decimal places, 0.2. I'm going to put a comma before the first precision, before the 0.2. It's going to put commas where necessary, and then a $sign in front of it. Same thing for this one. 0.2, $sign in front of it, comma. So now we're done with that. So I can now just go ahead and copy this and replace it for the rest. So over here, the option pane, do you want to play again? That's fine, we don't need anything formatted there. And over here we'll have some stuff formatted too. Let's see. Okay, so we're almost there. It wasn't a lot. The only thing we have to format is just this now. So let's just run something and see. Okay, so now it's looking good. You have won $8. The amount you've inserted so far is $4. Amount won so far is $8. Yeah, so it's looking good. The only thing, once we press no, the only thing we have to format is now these values. So let's just do that now. All right, so let's see. Show pane, let's show. Okay. All right, so we can just call the string.format method in here, just straightforward. So string.format. I'm going to surround it with this whole. I'll fix it, okay? So if you're trying to look at it, it might get confusing. I'm just trying to look at it and look at it and fix it the way it is. So you inserted. I know this is going to be percentage F. So you inserted percentage F and one percentage, another percentage F, making a profit. Oh no, this is a loss, making a loss of percentage F. And the arguments are going to be total amount entered and then total amount won so far. I didn't delete the whole thing, so I'm just changing it as I do it. So don't try. It's going to get confusing. If you know what I'm doing, then that's great. But I'm just trying to format it. That's why. When I'm done with it, it'll look perfect, like these ones. It'll look good. So you inserted percentage F and one percentage F, making a loss of percentage F. So this is going to replace this. This is going to replace amount won so far, and then making a loss of total amount entered minus total amount won so far. And then we don't need all of this. We don't need it. Actually, we need thanks for playing, but I'm going to put that here. Thanks for playing. And we'll just break this here. Yeah, we should have formatted it as we're doing it, but it's the same. I didn't want to confuse anyone, but we fixed it, so it's not a problem. It's not too much of a problem. I'm just breaking things up so that it's clear. Okay, so now we're done with this one. Now it's still off the screen a little bit, so I'll break it here. Now it's good because I'll just copy this one and I'll apply it to the rest. Oh, so now it's good, so there's nothing going off the screen. All right, so what we're doing is we are formatting the string and then we're inserting these values. So you inserted %f, user amount, total user amount entered is going to replace this %f. Total amount won so far is going to replace this %f. And then total user amount entered minus total amount won so far is going to replace this %f. Now we have to specify how we want it formatted. So 0.2, a comma, a dollar. Same thing for all of them, so I'm just going to copy it. 0.2, same thing. So I'm just going to paste it, and same thing for here. Paste it. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and copy this whole thing, this string.format. Oops. All right, now we need to close. This is just for the string.format. We need to close this. So this, this is for the opening parentheses. This parentheses is for the opening parentheses of the string.format. We need another one for the whole G option pane or show message dialog here. We need another one here, like this, and we don't need the string. Yeah, we don't need that. It's going off the screen, so I'm going to break it some more. I'll just do this. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I didn't have to even break it on 3 lines. I could have just moved this to the left here like that, and then just move this up again. I'm just trying to format it here, so move this a little bit more if we can. It's fine. I'll just break it. I'll just break it like this. That's good. Okay, so now we're good. We're good. I'm just tempted to just try to keep this on 2 lines. It's going to look messy. I'll just take it to where it was. Like this is fine. This is okay. This still works. Okay, so yeah, so this still works. So basically, yes, we formatted it. These values are going to replace the placeholders, and we're going to do the same thing for this. I'll just copy and paste it. But let me compile this and make sure it works, and it works. I'll just go ahead and copy this whole string.format and replace it here. Let's see. And then now we say you inserted this, but this time we were subtracting the amount. They inserted from the amount won so far. So total amount won so far minus total user amount entered so far. Like that. And over here we also want it formatted, but we'll say something different. So I'll just go ahead and paste this. And we'll say you inserted this, you want this. And instead of saying this, we're going to say you didn't make a profit. Okay, now or loss. Thanks for playing. I don't need all of this. How do I need this? All right, so we are over here. So you inserted amount inserted. You want this. You didn't make a profit or loss. Thanks for playing. So that's good. All right, so now we're done with the formatting. Yeah, so again, we should have formatted it as we're doing it, but I don't know, but I didn't want to just confuse anyone. But now we formatted it, although we had to change a lot and make it look and I hope I didn't confuse anyone with that. All we're doing, let me explain one of them. Actually, I did with this, but let me explain. So this is a format specifier. This is another format specifier, and this is another format specifier. Using a string.format method because we are using a G-option pane. We are using a string.format method because we're using a G-option pane, and before we display anything formatted, we have to format it first with a string.format method before we pass it to the G-option pane method. Before we pass it to the G-option pane show message dialog method. Okay, we are using a string.format method to format anything that we need displayed in the G-option pane's show message dialog method. We are doing that before we pass it to this method. So this is a placeholder, right? It takes in two arguments. The first argument is the string you want to display with the placeholders. The second argument or arguments is going to be what is going to replace these format specifiers. All right. So in this case, the first variable here is going to replace the first format specifier here, formatted this way. Okay, with a $sign, a comma where necessary, to 2 decimal places as a float. The second value here is going to replace this format specifier, formatted that same way. And the third argument, okay, the result of the third argument, in this case, this result, total amount won so far minus total user amount entered so far, is going to replace this placeholder formatted this way. So that's basically what's happening with all of them. And we didn't do it initially, so that's why it was looking not formatted, but now we formatted it. Now we had to go ahead and format it, and it was a bit messy because we had to change a lot, and that's why I was asking that you bear with me. But I hope you understand it. And if you're doing yours, you can go ahead and but if you're following along, then by this time you're on the same point as me. But it's good because we get to learn from all this. So let's now compile and see. Now everything should look formatted. Okay, we have a couple of errors here. Let's see what's happening. Variable said it cannot find symbol. Variable total user amount entered so far. Let's see. Total user amount entered so far. It cannot find that symbol. Don't I have a variable like that, or did I spell it wrong? Total user amount entered. Oh, there's no variable called total user amount entered so far. There is a variable called total user amount entered, because over here I declared it as total user amount entered. Over here I just said total user amount entered so far. So I don't have this variable. Actually, I have total amount won so far, and this is just total user amount entered. So let's compile this, and this works. All right. Now most of the program, if not all of it, is done. So I'm going to run it, and let's play a little bit. After all that all what we went through, let's just enjoy ourselves a little bit. So I'm going to enter $50 because I go hard that way. Hit OK. So you've won $0. Amount you've inserted so far is $50. Amount won so far is $0. Okay. So do you want to play again? I say yes. Yeah, because I'm rich. So I can go for more. Insert money. I'm going to insert another $50 and hit OK. You have won $0 because none of these match. Amount inserted so far is $100. Amount won so far is 0. I'm going to hit yes. Insert another $50. And guess what? See, I told you. It's like the golden touch, right? The boy with the golden touch. This time I got all three of them matching. My $50 I put in has multiplied to 3. I won $150. Now I've inserted $150. I have won $150. So guess what? I break even. So if I say no and I'm scared and I run away and I hit OK, now it says you inserted $150 and won $150. You didn't make a profit or loss. Thanks for playing. All right, so now let's try again, because I'm stubborn like that, so I can go and play more. So insert money, I'm going to this time go $1,000. Okay, hit OK. Okay. You have won $0. You've inserted $1,000 so far, and I've won 0. I'm going to play again and hit $2,000 this time, $2,000, and hit OK. And guess what? Because I had two things matching, my $2,000 was multiplied to $4,000. Now I've inserted $3,000 so far because I started with 1,000 and now 2,000, and I've won 4,000. So if I wanted to run, just because I know I have a profit of 1,000, I can run. I can say no, hit OK, and it says you inserted 3,000 and won 4,000, making it's supposed to making a profit. I didn't change that. I'm sorry. So over here it's saying making a loss, and over here it's still saying making a loss. So this is when you're making a loss, and this is when you're making a profit. That's why I forgot to change it. But I still made a profit though. It just didn't display well in the code. All right. So let's try again. So I'm just going to go hard this time for 4,000. Okay, so I won nothing. All right, so yes. 8,000, because I'm stubborn. So all right, so I've inserted $12,000 and then won nothing so far. Okay, now I'm going to insert another 12,000 because I have money like that. Hit OK. I hit 12,000. I hit 12,000 when it was asking me if I want to play again. I was expecting Y, and because I didn't enter Y, it could be anything because it said enter any key, right? And I hit 12,000, and it's going to read that first value or that first character, and then it's going to see that it's not Y. And since it's not Y, it's going to exit out of the loop. Okay, so I inserted 12,000 and 10, making a loss of 12,000. Okay, now let's try again properly without messing up. All right, so $5,000, hit OK. And two of them are matching. I won $10,000. Amount inserted is 5,000. Amount won is 10,000. So I know that right now I'm in profit, so I can go out, be stubborn, and play again. Say yes, but this time I'm going to only put $1,000 and see what happens. And guess what? I got two things matching. I got $2,000. Amount you've inserted is $6,000. Amount won so far now is $12,000. So I'm in serious profit. I basically doubled what I put in. So I can run away, because I know right now I'm in a profit of $6,000. So I can say no, hit OK, and it says you inserted 6,000 and won 12,000, making a profit of 6,000. Thanks for playing. So this program works. Now one more thing, just to make it look nice. You don't have to, but I sometimes I like to change things around. I mean, not I like to add to programs and make it look good. It's just a simple thing to make it look good. So over here, if we have $0, nothing happens. But if two of them match, right? If two of them match after I've displayed the words, okay. After I've displayed the words, which is what's going to be stored in where is it? One second. Okay, so the words over here, the words will be already stored in the output string. So if two of them match over here, if none of them match, nothing happens. But if two of them match, I want to go ahead and, before I create a new line, I want to type in ×2 like this. And then before I create a new line, I want to go ahead and say ×2, right? And you see where it's going to display right next to the words. The words ×2, because this is when two of them match. And if three of them match, I want to display ×3. Right, before the new line and before how much I've won and everything is displayed. All right, so it's going to display right next to the words. So it's a good way to just make the program look good. So I'm going to compile this and run and then see what happens. So insert money. Guess what? Because two of them match, I have ×2. Now let me just space this out a little bit. I'm going to create a tab, /T. Okay, for a tab, /T for a tab. Compile it and run. And then type in $50. And because none of them match, I have nothing next to it. I hit yes. I say another $50. And because two of them match over here, it has ×2, right? And I go to yes again, to see if I can get three of them. Now, if three of them match, I'll see I would have ×3 here. But because I don't have it, so I can even put more tabs. But basically, this program works. So 2 more tabs. Let's try one last time. This time I'm hoping to, hit it big. So I'm going to go 5,000, hit OK, and none of them match, so I have nothing there. Yes, I'm going to go for 10,000. I'll just go with another 1,000. Hit OK. Still, I didn't win anything. Hit yes. Another 1,000. Hit OK. And because two of them match, says times 2 here. I won 2,000. Everything has been added up. Let's play again. I say another 1,000. Hit OK. Still times 2. So I'm basically making money. Hit yes. Another 1,000. Hit OK. Nothing happens. Yes. 1,000. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. I'm basically losing money right now. Okay, I have a times 2, so I'm making a little bit of money. Another times 2, so I'm basically making up. So basically, if I stick with it, I'll just keep playing it. But this is what we have so far. This is what the program wants us to do. All right. The program didn't want us to display it as the user was playing it, but I wanted to add it. Either way, if the user hits no, right, and I hit OK, it displays it outside the loop like this. That's what the program wanted. So both ways we're displaying it. So the user, before the user even ends, the user knows exactly what they have. So you inserted 13,000, won 8,000, making a loss of 5,000. Right. Okay. So say thanks for playing. All right. So I know this video was long, but I wanted to talk about all the things I talked about, and I hope it helped. If you have any questions, please comment down below in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching and for going through this with me. It was a good program. I love this one. I love all the programs, but I'm just saying that this was, it was good. I mean, it was good like all the rest of the programs, but it was definitely a good program. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next program. Actually, this is the last program in chapter 4, so the next program is going to be the first program in chapter 5, and that's functions. No, that's methods in Java. So that's very exciting. Actually, functions and methods are the same thing. They call it. Actually, methods are slightly, different names, but they do similar things. They do very similar things, with slightly different names. But yeah, methods in chapter 5. That's going to be the first program. In the next, the first program in chapter 5 is going to be the next program I'm going to post. I think I'm talking too much. I have to leave now, just so I don't bore you with my talk. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time with the next program. Right, bye bye.